The first thing you should know is that I'm a scientist. I study quantum physics at Berkeley, and I don't believe in magic. Or at least, I didn't until 3 months ago when I met Dr. Marcus Chen at a conference in Singapore. He seemed normal enough at first, another physicist presenting his research on quantum entanglement. His paper was brilliant, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible about manipulating quantum states. But there was something odd about his results, something that didn't quite add up with the standard model. After his presentation, I cornered him at the hotel bar. "Your equations," I said, sliding onto the stool next to him. "They're elegant, but they shouldn't work. The energy required would be astronomical." He smiled, swirling amber liquid in his glass. "Dr. Santiago," he said, though I hadn't introduced myself. "Would you like me to show you how they work?" I should have noticed the strange way the ice in his glass never seemed to melt, or how the bartender's eyes slid past him as if he wasn't there. But I was too excited about the physics. "Yes," I said. "Absolutely." He led me to his laboratory, which turned out to be a converted temple on the outskirts of the city. Red paper lanterns swayed without wind, and the air smelled of ozone and something else. Something ancient and sharp, like metal left too long in the sun. "What you're about to see," he said, removing his jacket, "isn't in any physics textbook." He rolled up his sleeves, revealing intricate tattoos that seemed to shift and move across his skin. "There are other ways to manipulate reality besides the ones we learn in school." I watched, skeptical but curious, as he began to move his hands through the air. The tattoos on his arms began to glow with the blue-white light, and I felt the familiar tingle of electromagnetic fields raising the hair on my arms. But this was different. Stronger, more focused. The air between his palms began to shimmer and twist. "This is impossible," I whispered, but I was already reaching for my notebook. The equations flowed through my mind, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. The energy patterns were like nothing I'd ever encountered. "Impossible," he laughed. "Maria, your ancestors knew things about the universe that we're only beginning to rediscover. They called it magic because they lacked the vocabulary for quantum manipulation, but the principles are the same." He closed his hands together, and when he opened them again, a small galaxy spun between his palms, actual stars and dust and dark matter, perfectly miniaturized. I could see the mathematical beauty of it, the way space curved around itself, but there was something else too, something that made my scientific mind rebel. "This isn't just physics," I said, my voice shaking. "What are you?" "I'm a physicist, like you," he said. "But I'm also what some would call a sorcerer. The two aren't as different as you might think. Both seek to understand and manipulate the fundamental forces of reality." He showed me more that night, experiments that blended mathematical precision with what I can only call magic. He demonstrated how certain geometric patterns, when combined with specific electromagnetic frequencies and what he called will, could alter the fabric of space-time itself. I took notes frantically, trying to capture everything in the language of mathematics. Some of it translated beautifully into equations. Other parts defied all known laws of physics. When I looked up from my notebook hours later, the sun was rising. "Why show me this?" I asked as he walked me to the taxi stand. My head was spinning with implications, with possibilities. "Because, Maria," he said, "you have the potential to bridge both worlds. Your equations, the ones you're working on but haven't published yet, they're closer to the truth than you know." He handed me a card with a symbol that seemed to flicker and change when I wasn't looking directly at it. "When you're ready to learn more, draw this symbol on your office window at midnight during a new moon." I still have the card. I've analyzed it with every instrument in my lab. The symbol defies spectroscopic analysis. It seems to exist in more dimensions than should be possible. My paper on quantum entanglement sits unfinished on my computer. The new moon is tomorrow night. I've already bought new dry erase markers for my office window. After all, I'm a scientist. And what kind of scientist would I be if I didn't investigate every possibility, even if it challenges everything I thought I knew about reality?